Morning.
My dearest Michael, I'm now in residence here at High Place Hall. My good Aunt Templeman, the banker's widow, has lately died and bequeathed some of her fortune to me. I have taken her name as a means of escape from mine and its wrongs. I've got your daughter to live with me to give you an excuse for coming here, as if to visit her and thus to form my acquaintance naturally. I cannot wait to see you again. Yours as always, Lucetta.
I'm very sorry, Mum. I inquired after Miss Henchard and they showed me up here. Have I come to the wrong house?
Oh, no, sir. Sit down, sir. You must come and sit down now that you're here. Miss Henchard will be here directly. Isn't the market fascinating? I love watching it, looking out from the window.
Do you look out often?
Yes, very often.
Do you look for anyone you know?
I look at it just as a picture. I may do so now. I may look for you. I don't mean it seriously. But it is lonely, looking out at a crowd of people and not knowing anyone.
You feel lonely?
Nobody knows how lonely. I came here thinking I should like to live here, but I wonder.
Where do you come from, Ma'am?
The neighbourhood of Bath.
And I from near Edinburgh. But a man must live where his money is made. And I've done well here. I bought wheat in the autumn when the price was down. And then afterwards, when it rose, I sold off at a profit. It's knowing when to buy, when to sell. That's the art of it. I'm wearying you, Ma'am.
No. Indeed.
Now, you're a rich woman. I'm a struggling corn merchant. All my talk of business must be very boring to you.
Not at all. You're most interesting.
Talking of business, I had an arrangement to meet with a customer.
Well, then you must go. Must you not?
Yes.
You'd better go. Or you'll lose a customer.
Now, madam, you'll make me angry.
Then suppose you don't go, but stay a little longer.
I like staying, but I fear I must go. Business ought not to be neglected. Ought it?
Not for a single minute.
True. I'll come again when business allows, if I may, ma'am.
Certainly. What's happened to us is most curious.
Something to think about when we are alone.
The market calls for you to be gone.
Market, eh? Business. I wish there were no business in the world. I've never wished such things before. It's only since coming here and seeing you. I'll see you in my thoughts. Well, I'll go. Thank you for the pleasure of this visit.
Thank you for staying.
Maybe I'll get into my market mind in a few minutes, but I don't know.
Sir, Miss Tamplin's asked me to tell you she won't expect you today, but she'd be happy to see you tomorrow.
What do you think?
They're lovely.
But which am I to wear? Settling upon new clothes is so trying. You are that person, or you are that totally different person for the whole of the coming spring. And one of the two, you don't know which, may turn out to be very objectionable.
I wouldn't think so hard about it.
I think I'll be cherry-coloured this spring.
Morning, Elizabeth Jane.
This is the lady I live with, Father, Miss Tamplin.
Happy to make your acquaintance, Mr. Henchard. This is a curious machine.
Yes. Very curious.
Who brought it here?
Don't ask me, ma'am. All I know is it can't possibly work. You refuse to see me.
We're looking at this wonderful new machine.
Aye, it'll revolutionise sowing hereabouts. No more sowers flinging their seed all over the place so that some falls by the wayside and some among thorns and all that.
So much for the romance of the sower and the seed.
Is the machine yours?
No, madam, no. I merely recommended it be got.
So don't forsake the machine for us.
Have you met Mr. Farfrae before?
Yes, on one occasion. Do you think of home, Mr. Farfrae?
Aye. Sometimes.
So do I, as far as I can.
Of Bath?
Well, it's all pulled down now. I mean, the old house where I was born, so I hardly have any home to think of. All bread and butter.
Are they pleased with the new machine?
What?
The new corn drill?
Oh, yes, yes. Delighted. It's a great success. It'll be the first of many.
It was good of you to come.
Well, you know why I came. I felt that after what happened between us, it was my duty not to delay before putting things to rights. But I wouldn't wish to seem to be hurrying you, because you can guess how this money you've come into has made me feel. The fact is, it's put me in a rather awkward position.
Why?
Well, there's nobody in the world I should have wished to see enter into this wealth before you, Lucetta.
I'm greatly obliged to you for that.
Well, you may be obliged or not for it. Though the things I say may not have the polish you've lately learned to expect, they are real, my lady Lucetta.
It's rather a rude way of speaking to me.
Not at all. But I don't wish to quarrel with you. I've come because you asked me in your letter to carry out the promise I made over in Jersey to disperse the shadow over your name. That's what I'm proposing. And you ought to be thankful.
How can you speak to me like that? Knowing that my only crime was to indulge in a foolish girl's passion. I suffered enough when you wrote to me telling me that your wife had returned, dismissing me from your life. If I'm a little independent now, surely the privilege is due me.
Yes, it is. But in this life you are judged not by the way things are, but by the way they appear. And I think, therefore, you should accept me. For your own good name's sake. And what is known in your native Jersey may get known here. So, what do you say to my proposal?
For the present, let things be. Treat me as an acquaintance. And I'll treat you as one.
That's the way the wind blows, is it?
Yes?
I couldn't sleep. I was a little worried about you.
About me?
Your father was distant with you today.
Yes. It is because he doesn't think I'm respectable. I've tried to be so, but It was unfortunate for me that my mother and father separated. You don't know what it is to have shadows like that on your life.
I don't. Not of that kind precisely, but one may feel a sense of disgrace, shame in other ways.
Have you ever had any such feelings?
I was thinking of the difficult positions in which women may find themselves in the eyes of the world, through no fault of their own.
Must make them very unhappy.
Makes them anxious. Might not other women despise them?
Not altogether despise them. Yet not quite like or respect them.
I was thinking of the dilemma facing a good friend of mine. A lady who once admired a man, admired him very much. They were intimate. He did not think so deeply of her as she did of him. But in an impulsive moment, purely to make amends, he proposed to make her his wife, and she agreed. Because she'd been so far compromised by him that she felt in all conscience that she could never belong to another man. Not even if she should wish to. But there was an unexpected hitch in the proceedings, and they heard nothing from each other for a long time. And she felt her life was going nowhere.
Poor lady.
She suffered a great deal because of him. But I should add, he couldn't be altogether blamed for what had happened. But at last the obstacle which had separated them was removed, and he came to marry her. But in the interval, she had seen a man she liked better than him, and now comes the point. Could she, in honour, dismiss the first?
A man she liked better? That's bad.
Yes, it is bad.
I can't answer. It's so difficult. Wants a pope to settle this.
You prefer not to, perhaps?
Yes, Miss Templeton. I'd rather not say.
Can I talk with you?
Come in.
This'll do, thank you. I've heard you can do things of a sort.
Maybe so, Mr. Henchard.
Why do you call me that?
Because it's your name. I had a feeling you'd come.
And I've not come in vain. Now, for instance, can you charm away warts?
Without trouble.
Cure the evil?
If they will wear the toad bag by night as well as by day.
Forecast the weather.
With labour and time.
And take this. It's a crown piece. Now, what's the weather to be for the harvest fortnight?
I've worked it out already. And you can know at once. By the sun, moon and stars.
The harvest weather, what'll it be?
The last fortnight in August will be rain and tempest.
You're not certain, of course.
As certain as one can be in a world where all is unsure. It will be more like living in Revelations this autumn than in England.
All right, lads, keep 'em coming, that's it.
I am again out of a manager.
As you were, sir, when I was last here.
Yes?
You appointed Mr. Fafhrey in my place.
A mistake I paid for. Enough of that. Are you in a place now?
Not so much as a beggar, sir.
When can you come?
Well, at this hour, this moment, sir.
When the thing's settled.
Thank you.
Now, one thing is necessary to me as the biggest corn and hay dealer in these parts. A Scotchman must be cut out. Dear, two of us can't live side by side, that's certain.
I'm that way of thinking too. I sometimes wonder if he has some glass that he sees the next year in. He has such a knack of making everything bring in fortune.
Aye. He's deep beyond an honest man's understanding. But we'll make him shallower. This is what I plan to do. I'm gonna put every penny I've got into buying up grain now. Fill the granaries to bursting. It's my guess we're set for a poor summer and a bad harvest. Then when the time comes, I'll sell at double or treble the price. What do you think?
Well, sir, you buy up all the grain now, bad harvest could make you a fortune. But a good harvest could ruin you.
I gave the man his start. And what does he do in return? He wants to strip me bare. But I'll have him. I'll put him down. I'll undersell him and overbuy him, and so snuff him out.
The bank has to protect.
Sell.
No, your granaries are choking with wheat. Yet the price is less now than what it was when you first bought it.
When the weather changes, the prices will rocket sky high.
What makes you think the weather's going to change? Were you going to change it?
You mark my word.
You're a man of influence, Mr. Henchard. I doubt even you can change the weather. But the point is, the bank can no longer accept the risk.
I've given you enough security. My house, my business, everything I own.
Yes. And you're in danger of losing it all if the price continues to fall. You gambled on bad weather and you lost. You're not the first. Look, I'm not a gambler or a weather forecaster. I'm a bank manager and I can read a balance sheet.
And I am a councillor and a magistrate and a man of property.
You got commitments. You got business debts to honour.
I'll honour them.
So you'll start selling now?
I'll sell when I'm ready.
Scorching hot day.
Scorching hot day, you say. But that meant for your blasted advice, it might have been a fine day enough. Why did you let me go on? When a word of doubt from you would have made me think twice.
My advice to you, sir, is to do as you thought best.
A useful fella. Well, the sooner you find somebody else to help in that way, the better. I need you and your advice no longer.
You should be sorry for this, sir. You should be as sorry as a man can be.
Sell it.
First he fills the granaries to choking, now he's clearing the lot. Boy, that don't make sense.
Well, he gambled on bad weather and lost. But you don't need to know that. You just get that wagon loaded.
There's something I must ask you. You are sure to be sought after because of your wealth, your talents, and your beauty. Or will you resist the temptation to be one of those ladies with lots of admirers and be content to have only one?
Donald, I love nobody else. But I should wish to have my own way in some things.
What special thing do you mean?
Well, if I wish not to live always in Casterbridge. If I found that I were not happy here.
You shall have your way in everything.
I have a little matter to remind you of, which you seem to have forgotten.
I may wish to forget.
And I may wish to remember. I refer to the commitments we made in our early days together.
I don't want to hear it.
But you ought to hear it.
But it came to nothing through you. Why did you propose to marry me anyway? If it had been for pure love, I might have felt bound now. But you planned it out of mere charity.
And why did you come to find me?
Thought I ought to marry you since you were free.
Why don't you think so now?
My circumstances have changed.
The man you're thinking of is no better than I.
Well, if you were as good as he, you would leave me alone.
You cannot, in honour, refuse me. And unless you give me your promise this very night to be my wife, I'll reveal our intimacy. I mean it. I still have all the letters you wrote to me. They'll make interesting reading, especially those written in the first heat of passion. Elizabeth Jane, I want you to hear this. Will you or will you not marry me?
If you wish it, I must agree.
You say yes?
I do.
She agrees because you wish it, Father. But it obviously is not her wish. What makes her agree? Don't compel her to do anything against her will. I've lived with her, and I know she cannot bear too much.
Don't be stupid. This'll leave him free for you, if you want him, won't it?
Who are you talking about?
Nobody, as far as I'm concerned.
Then it's my mistake. But this business is between me and Miss Templeman. And you agree to be my wife?
I do.
You have many secrets from me.
Perhaps you have some from me?
I wouldn't do anything against you. I can't understand how my father can command you like this. I'll go and ask him to release you now.
No, no. Let it all be.
Only one case up today, sir.
What is it?
An old vagrant, sir. A female. Swearing and committing a nuisance against the church wall, sir. When I proceeded to the place, I saw defendant at another spot, namely the gutter. And when I approached to draw near, she committed the nuisance and insulted me.
Now then, have you any questions to ask him or anything to say?
Yes. 20 years ago or thereabouts, I was a selling of furmity in a tent at Weydon Fair. and a man and a woman and a little child came into my tent. They sat down and had a basin apiece. Now, I used to season my furmity with rum for them as asked for it. I did it for the man. He had more and more, till at last he quarrelled with his wife and offered to sell her to the highest bidder. A sailor came in and bid 5 guineas and paid the money and led her away. And the man who sold his wife in that fashion is the man sitting there in the great big chair.
'Tis true. As true as the lightning. And to avoid any temptation to treat her hard for revenge, I leave her to you.
See Lucetta. I call every day for a week, and every day the maid says she is away. Where is she? When will she be back?
She's coming back this morning.
We'll speak to her.
She isn't in.
Well, Elizabeth, please! I must see her.
She's gone for a walk on the hills.
Elizabeth, I cannot undo what I did 21 years ago. Lucetta! Lucetta, I have been desperate to see you these last few days. I don't want to make you wretched. And to marry me now would do that. You've made that plain. But could we not put off all thought of marriage for a year or two and agree to an indefinite engagement?
I cannot.
I have a reason for proposing this. Listen to me first. You may have heard that I've been unlucky this year. I did what I've never done before. Speculated rashly, and I lost. I am the bank's creature now.
Perhaps I could help you. I could advance you some money.
But no, I'm not a man to sponge on a woman, even though she may be so nearly my own as you. No, Lucetta, what you can do is this, and it would save me. You could persuade the bank to hold off for just another 2 weeks. Now, let me explain. If you would just let it be known that you are my intended and that we are to be quietly married this next fortnight. Wait, you haven't heard all. Nobody else need know. You could just go with me to Mr. Grower and let me speak to you on such terms. I would ask him to keep a secret. He'd wait willingly then. A fortnight's forbearance on his part would be enough for me to pull through. And then I could go to him and tell him all's postponed between us for a year or two. Not a soul need know that you've helped me.
If it were anything else.
But it's such a little thing. I could have said as much to Grower myself, but he wouldn't have believed me.
It's not because I won't, it's because I absolutely can't.
Why not?
Because he was a witness.
A witness of what? Well, let's hear what you mean.
Witness of my marriage.
Marriage?
Yes. With Donald Farfrey, I'm already his wife. We were married this week at Port Bredy.
You married him? But you married him while he's bound to marry me?
Well, how could I keep my promise to you after hearing that you'd sold your first wife at a fair like that? I couldn't risk myself in your hands. I love Donald. But I knew I should lose him if I didn't secure him at once, for you would carry out your threat of telling him of our former acquaintance. But you'll not do so now, will you, Michael?
I've a mind to punish you as you deserve. One word to this brand new husband of yours, and your precious happiness is blown to atoms. Don't say another word. Go home! Don't stay here any longer! Go home!
You remember the story I told you about the dilemma of the first lover and the second?
First man is my father, isn't he?
Yes.
Then there's only one course open to you. You ought to marry Mr. Henchard or nobody.
Elizabeth, I was so afraid of revelations that would destroy me. That...
You've married Mr. Fafrey.
Yes. But I told him I would like you to stay with me just as before.
Let me think of it alone.
I'm sure we'll be happy together.
Creditors in this case, I want you to know that I've proved the balance sheet to be as honestly made out as it could possibly be. There have been no evasions and no concealment. The rashness of dealing that led to this unhappy situation is obvious enough. But as far as I can see, every attempt has been made to avoid wronging anybody.
What's the occasion?
It's the bankruptcy commissioners, miss. Settling Mr. Henchard's affairs.
I must go in and see him.
Oh, I wouldn't, miss. Not in there.
Over and above the assets that appear on the balance sheet, will be these. Belongs to you all as much as anything I got, and I don't want to keep it from you. And I only wish for your sakes it was more.
No, no. No, we don't want that. It is honourable of you, but keep it. What do you say, neighbours? Do you agree?
Surely. We wouldn't wish it at all.
Well, the case is a desperate one. I have to admit I've never met a debtor who behaved more fairly. Now, the next step is to see that all the possessions are properly ticketed so that we can proceed with the auctions without delay.
Yes?
I've come to speak to my father.
He has a room through there.
Why is he staying here with you?
Necessity has no choice.
Go away. I don't want to see you.
I want to make sure you're looking after yourself.
I thought you never wanted to see me again.
I can't know what happened all those years ago. But I do know that my mother wanted to see you again. And that you did all you could to make amends when we returned. You looked after her. And I'm gonna look after you.
It's not worth the effort. I'm nothing. Got nothing.
Yes, you have. You've got your daughter. You've got me. Mr. Farfrae is master here now.
Yes, Miss Henchard. Mr. Farfrae's bought the concern and all us work folk with it. It's better for us now. Though I shouldn't say that to you. But, well, we don't have to fear for our lives as we did before. So, those I get a shilling a week less, I feel a richer man now.
He and she moved into their new house today.
Oh, what house is that?
Your old one.
My house of all the others in the town.
Well, somebody was sure to live there. And you couldn't. It's no harm to you, as he's the man. And you heard of that fella that bought all the best furniture at your sale? He was bidding for no other than Farfrae all the while. It was never even moved out of the house. He's already got the lease.
My furniture, too. Surely he'll buy my body and soul likewise.
There's no saying he won't. If you'll be willing to sell.
Mr. Henchard, I heard that you were thinking about emigrating. Is it true?
Yes, it is true.
Now listen to me. If I'm not taking up your time, just as I once listened to you, don't go. You stay at home.
But I can do nothing else, man. Little money I have will just keep body and soul together for a few weeks and no more.
Aye, but what I propose is this. If you'll listen, you come and stay in your old house. I'm sure my wife would not mind at all. Until there's an opening for you.
No, we should quarrel.
You'd have part of the house for yourself. Nobody to interfere with you.
You don't know what you ask. But I can do no less than thank you.
Oh, I nearly forgot. I've bought a good deal of your furniture.
So I've heard.
Well, there's not so very much that I wanted it for myself. I'd like you to come and pick out any pieces that you care for. You'll not be depriving me.
What? Give it to me for nothing? But you paid the creditors for it.
Aye. but maybe it's worth more to you than it is to me. And if you're needing work, well, of course, there's always work in the cornyard for you. I sometimes think I've wronged you.
I was thinking of taking work at the cornyard. I've been a journeyman before. Why shouldn't I be one again?
Hear what they're all saying? He'll soon be mayor.
Nonsense, he's too young to be mayor.
Good afternoon.
Beg your pardon, ma'am?
Said good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Glad to see you, ma'am. Well, we humble workmen think it a great honour that a lady should look in and take an interest in us.
Would you please not speak to me like that? I'm only too glad that you should have employment of my husband, but in all fairness, treat me as his wife. I've committed no crime and done you no injury. I must ask you to return any letters of mine that you might have. You must see how desirable it is that the Times in Jersey should be blotted out for the good of all parties.
The good of all parties.
Will you return them?
Gladly. If I can find them. Is it?
It is.
I must apologise for not returning it to you.
Never mind. It's just a bundle of old letters. I hope Mrs. Farfrey's well.
Aye. She was feeling a wee bit tired. Went to bed early.
You won't have forgotten that curious chapter in my history I told you about. And you gave me some assistance in. Well, these letters are related to that. Though, thank God, it's all over now.
Aye. What became of the poor woman?
Luckily, she married. Married well. So these reproaches she poured out on me earlier on don't now cause me any twinges, as they might otherwise have done.
The young lady must have had a heart that bore transplanting very readily.
Oh, she had. She had. Just listen to what an angry woman will say. For me, there is practically no future. It is impossible that I can be the wife of any other man. And yet I am no more to you than the first woman you meet on the street. That's how she went on to me. Acres of words like that, when what happened was what I could not cure. She finishes. Thus I sit here, forsaken by my few acquaintance and forsaken by you. And then her signature. She signs herself. Yours as always. What does it matter what she signs?
I think Henchard is a bit crazed. He's just been reading me some letters relating to his past life. I had no choice but to listen. He is a strange man. He's so intense. I sometimes think he hates me. I can understand why he should feel a wee bit of envy, but I cannot understand the intensity of what he feels. Can you? It's more like an old-fashioned rivalry in love than a rivalry in trade. Though perhaps trade was his love.
Does he know that we are?
No, I said nothing about the baby. I didn't think he'd exactly welcome another Fafre.
Donald. I wish you'd do what we talked about. Give up business and go away from here. Plenty of money. Do we have to stay?
No, of course we don't. No. We don't have ties here. Either of us.
I would like us to move.
Seriously, consider when it would be best. Oh, no. He's not come back again, has he? Oh.
The council will have to find a new mayor. I'm afraid that poor Mr. Chalkfield has died.
Oh, no. I'd heard he wasn't well, but...
Died this evening. We must take it as it is. Now, I have called to ask you this, quite privately. If I should nominate you to succeed him, will you accept the chair?
But there are folk whose turn it is before mine. I'm over young and maybe thought pushing.
Not at all. I don't speak for myself only. Several have named you. You won't refuse.
We thought of going away.
Well, I cannot refuse if it's the wish of a respectable majority of the council.
Very well. Look upon yourself as elected. We've had aldermen long enough.
When I read your note, it seemed as though you thought I would not come. But of course, I'm glad to come if you want to meet me.
Thank you.
I'm sorry to see you looking so ill.
How can you be sorry when you deliberately cause it?
I'll destroy the letters.
No, give me them back.
But he's bound to find out, sooner or later.
But not till I have proved myself a faithful and deserving wife. And then he may forgive me everything.
I hope so. And your secret shall be kept. I swear it.
Beg pardon for intruding, Mrs. Fafre, but I've heard there may be the position of corn manager available soon. I wish to offer myself. I can offer good security, and I've written to Mr. Fafre stating as much, but I'd be much obliged if you'd say a word in my favour to your husband.
Something I know nothing about.
I think, ma'am, that just a word or two from you would secure for me what I covet very much.
Indeed. I'm afraid I hold no influence over my husband in his business matters.
Well, look, could you just...
If you're looking for your father, he's not here.
Do you know where he is, then?
This last week, he's spoken about nothing but this day. Seems that this day's exactly 21 years since he swore his vow not to drink.
Where do you think I can find him?
Well, if he's busted out drinking, likely you find him down at the Three Mariners.
Take you home.
Swinging your gold chain. They surrounded by hangers on and toadies. Oh, man, get drunk. Shame on you. Heads on.
Let go.
Pay for that, Martin Wingwood. You pay for that. You come up here.
What are you doing up here?
You should have thought twice before publicly humiliating a man who had nothing to lose.
I'm not going to argue with you. You wait till you cool down. You'll see things the same way I do.
We're here to finish off that little wrestle you began this morning. There's the door. 20 feet above ground. One of the two of us puts the other out that door. The master stays here. As the strongest man, I've tied one arm to take no advantage of you. You understand? And here's on you. This is the end of what you began this morning. Your life is mine to take.
And take it. Take it. You've wished it long enough.
That's not true. God is my witness that no man ever loved another as I did you. And now, though I came to kill you, I cannot harm you. Do what you will with me. I care not what becomes of me. I wish you to do something for me, John. Tonight, if you can. Leave this at Mrs. Farfrae's for her. I should go myself, of course, but I don't wish to be seen there. Thank you.
Mr. Henchard's asked me to deliver this to a lady, seeing as he doesn't want to be seen delivering it to her himself.
Why would he not be seen?
My guess is there's something between him and that lady.
What lady?
It's one that stands high in this town, Mrs. Farfrae.
Henchard and Mrs. Farfrae?
So, what is in the parcel?
This is the passion of love.
Then open it.
It's just as I said. It's our love letters to him.
Love letters? Then let's hear 'em, good soul.
My dearest Michael, please, please, write to me. I am desperate to know when I can come to you.
Mrs. Farfrae wrote that.
I say this is a good ground for skimmity ride.
I live only for the day when I can be with you again and have your strength to protect me.
How many are there?
I suppose 30 of them.
Are there two figures?
Yeah. 2 images on a donkey, back to back, their elbows tied to one another.
I've come to see you. Forgive me, I didn't stop to knock.
What is it? What's going on out there?
Let us set it out.
They sent 2 images. Images of who?
Let us set it out.
I'll have to see. I'll have to see. It's me and Henchard.
You said nobody to stop it, not one. Come away. Let me close the shutters.
She's mean. Not your entrance.
Oh! Come on!
So wanted our child.
Hush.
I haven't been the wife you deserve.
Oh, darling. You have.
been the wife I deserve. Now go to sleep. The doctor said the only rest...
I can't rest. I must speak to you.
Oh, you can speak tomorrow.
No, I must speak to you now. You told me the Henchard talked to you about a relationship he had with a woman.
Mm.
And he read your letters.
Yes, he seemed most eager that I should hear.
You don't know why.
No.
He wished to humiliate you.
Humiliate me?
Those letters were my letters.
No, darling. Those letters were written from Jersey. They were written by a woman he met in Jersey.
But I did live in Jersey. I was with him there. I know I can't ask you to forgive me. But I cannot leave you deceived.
They can knock as loud as they will. She shall not hear it any more.
Father.
Sleep, my little one.
Good morning. Is it Mr. Henchard I'm talking to?
My name is Henchard.
Can I have a few words with you?
By all means.
You may remember me.
No.
Well, perhaps you may not. My name is Newsom.
I know the name well.
I make no doubt of that. Well, the fact is, I've been looking for you this fortnight past. I landed at Budmouth. I've travelled backwards and forwards asking after you, until at last I learned you've been living in Casterbridge. I got here by coach 10 minutes ago. So, here I am. Now, that transaction between us some 20 years agone, that's what I've called about. 'Twas a curious business.
It's worse than curious. I cannot even allow that I'm the man you met then. I was not in my senses. And a man's senses are himself.
We were young and thoughtless. However, I've come here to mend matters rather than open arguments. Poor Susan. She was a homespun woman. Not shrewd or sharp at all.
She was not.
He was fairly happy. Your child died, she had another, and all went well. Until somebody told her our relationship was a mockery. Then and there, in her simple way, she decided she had to leave. I went off to sea, to the other side of the Atlantic. The ship went down, and it was supposed we'd all been lost.
Now, that much Susan told me.
But I found myself ashore in Newfoundland. And I decided it'd be most kindness to let Susan go on thinking me lost. I thought, she'll go back to him as she thinks she ought. And the child will have a home. And so it turned out. They told me in Budmouth that Susan was dead. But my Elizabeth Jane, where is she?
Dead, likewise. Surely you heard that too?
Dad? When did she die?
A year ago and more.
My journey here there has been for nothing. I may as well go as I came. It has served me right. I'll trouble you no longer. Why did I wait so long? Why did I not come sooner? If only I could have seen her once again.
Elizabeth, are miracles still work, do you think?
Don't quite think there are any miracles nowadays.
But something. A sign, maybe. Come with me, and I'll show you what I mean. What do you see?
Nothing.
Oh, look again.
There's something. Looks like a bundle of old clothes.
Are they like mine?
Yeah. Father, let's go away from here.
First, you must tell me what you see floating in there.
The effigy. They must have thrown it into the river higher up.
That's the effigy of me, but where's the other? And why that one only? That performance of theirs killed her, but kept me alive.
Father, I will not leave you alone like this. Will you come and live with me so that I might tend upon you as I used to do? Please!
Elizabeth, don't mock me. I have nothing.
I don't mind that.
How will you forgive my roughness in former days?
I have forgot it. Talk of that no more.
Who'd have thought it? Henchard running a seed shop. Mind, he only got it with the help of Farfrae and the council.
He didn't get it. She got it for him. She's the one running it. She's the driver. He's only the horse.
You won't say that in his hearing. I'd want you black and blue.
Hey, but Widow, you still late for work in the morning?
Aye, Mr. Henchard. Mr. Farfrae, you don't whack me like you used to do.
Here, let me help you.
You like walking this way, Miss Henchard? Is it not so?
Yes. I've chosen this way latterly. Though I have no great reason for it.
That may make a reason for others.
I don't know that. My reason, however, such as it is that I wish to get a glimpse of the sea every day.
Is it a secret why?
Yes.
I doubt any good will come of secrets. A secret cast a deep shadow over my life. And well you know what it is.
See Mr. Farfrae today?
Yes.
Are you expecting a proposal from that quarter?
Father, it is not for me to say.
Well, I ask only because I want you to understand that I would have no objections.
Thank you for those books, Mr. Farfrae. I wonder if I ought to accept so many.
Aye, why not? It gives me even more pleasure to get them for you than for you to have them.
Father, I've been asked to go to Mr. Farfrae's to meet somebody. I don't know who. I think Donald is playing a trick on me. But do you think I ought to go?
Yes. Go.
There's probably some relation of Donald's wanting to pass an opinion on his choice.
Elizabeth, I'm going to leave Casterbridge.
Leave Casterbridge? Leave me?
I'd rather get into the country by myself, out of sight, follow my own ways, leave you to yours.
I'm sorry you've decided on this. Is it because of Donald? Do you disapprove after all?
I approve of anything you desire to do. If I did not approve, it would make no matter. I wish to go away. 'Tis best that I go. Think of me sometime in your future life. Will you do that, Izzy? Think of me when you're living as the wife of the richest, the foremost man in the town. And do not let my sins, when you know them all, cause you to forget that though I loved you late, I loved you well. Promise not to forget me when...
Promise. He is gone.
Did you tell him about the visitor?
I told him what I know. Who am I to meet, Donald?
You'll find out about that soon enough. As will Mr. Henchard. If he has not gone too far.
He will go far. He is bent upon getting out of sight and out of sound.
Elizabeth Jane.
Did I hear you say Casterbridge?
Yes, I've just come from there, Master.
I heard Mr. Farfrae, the last mayor there, was thinking of getting married. Now, is that true or not?
I couldn't for the life of me say.
Yes, John, you forget. What were them packages we carried there last week? Surely they said a wedding was coming off soon. St. Martin's Day.
Walk on.
Henchard?
Did you inform your mistress that an old friend has come to offer his congratulations?
Yes, sir. They're in the dining room. Please, come through. Mr. Henchard.
I see you have your real father in my place.
I could have loved you always. I would have gladly. But how can I when I know you've deceived me? So bitterly deceived me. Why did you pretend that I was your daughter? You persuaded me that my father was not my father. Allowed me to live on in ignorance of the truth for years. And then when he, my real father, came back to find me, you cruelly sent him away with a wicked lie about my death that nearly broke his heart. How can I love as I once did? A man who has served us like this.
Don't distress yourself on my account. I would not wish it. At such a time, too, as this. I did wrong in coming here. But it was for once only, so forgive it. I'll not trouble you again, Elizabeth Jane. No. Not to my dying day. Bye.
Poor bird. How did it get here? Oh, man. Mr. Henchard. I saw him here with it. He must have gone and left it.
We seen that night at about midnight, going towards Melchester. We can only drive that way and hope that somebody has news of him. Trot on.
So far away from Casterbridge. She said it must be able to. It's just like him.
And maybe Whittle too. He hasn't been to the yard this last week. He went away without saying a word. Abel Whittle! Is Mr. Henchard here?
He's just gone.
Not that.
Yes, ma'am. He's gone. I seen him go down the street on the day of your worshipful's wedding. And I thought he looked faltering, and I followed. We walked on all night, and in the blue of the morning, I see that he was wambling. He could hardly drag along. And I see this place. "What, Whittle?" he said. "Can you really be such a poor fond fool to care for such a wretch as I?" I made him as comfortable as I could, but he didn't gain strength. For you see, ma'am, he couldn't eat. No appetite at all. And he got weaker. And today he died. One of the neighbours have gone to get a man to measure him.
Is that so?
Left a piece of paper with some writing on it. They can't read writing, so I don't know what it is. I can get it and show you.
Michael Henchard's will that Elizabeth Jane Farfrae be not told of my death, or made to grieve on account of me.
And that I be not buried in consecrated ground, and that no sexton be asked to toll the bell, and that nobody is wished to see my dead body, and that no mourners walk behind me at my funeral, and that no flowers be planted on my grave, and that no man remember me. To this I put my name, Michael Henchard.